Yes.
So many Kirby's. All right, and welcome to episode 150 of the Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Powers, and joining me for this momentous occasion, Stephen.
Wow.
Rachel.
Hello.
And Chase.
G'day.
So, yeah, it's been a lot of episodes. I know not all of us are involved in the original grouping of this, but I think at this point I've done more shows with you guys than anyone else. So the lion's share of it is now this show, and it's previous this whole thing with this group. So that's a big thing to celebrate, I think. Because 150, that's a lot of damn episodes.
That's more episodes than CW shows.
Yeah. Which is kind of funny. I'm finally catching up on the Superman and Lois or whatever, and I'm like,
I need to say something about that real quick.
Oh,
I had no idea that the actor who played Superman is the voice of Sephiroth in Final Fantasy Remake.
What? Holy crap! I did not know that.
I saw a fan appreciation TikTok, and they were like, "We love him and we stand for him." And I was like, "Well, what else did he do?" And he did some like other fantasy roles, but then they showed Sephiroth, and I was like, "Hold on a second." And people were like, "Yeah, man, he was Sephiroth in the remake." I was like, "What?
Wait a damn minute."
What the ass, guys?
Exactly.
So Sephiroth is Superman." I was like, "All right."
Thank
I still
you,
think he's an
past
amazing
me.
Superman. I thought I said Rachel.
What?
I thought I said Rachel.
No, I said thank you, past me.
Oh, thank you, past me. Okay. I thought you said I think you passed me. I was like, no, I introduced you.
No. I said thank you, past me.
We're off to a great start this show.
We're clearly starting off with a bang.
I'm fine with it. That's great. So yeah, we'll go ahead and jump into what we've been doing, and then we've got a little bit of a difference now, because before we would constantly be talking about the same thing, and we'd go back and forth on who's talking with what for a lot of things. So we've introduced a new section afterwards called group chat, where if there's more than one of us talking about a particular topic, we'll have kind of a mini discussion about it to keep it a little more consistent with that. So, all right, let's start off then what we've been doing. And Rachel, I know you've had a bunch of stuff going on, so let's start with you.
Oh, well, gosh, it's been a little bit, because last weekend I was at the Ren Fair. When am I not at a Ren Fair? That's the question. There's a lot in November. That seems like the time for Ren Fairs down here. So I went to the Lady of the Lakes Ren Fair. It was last weekend and the weekend before. I went for 3 whole days. It was a good time. I drank a lot of mead, had some Scotch eggs, watched my friends at the Viking encampment fight each other, so that was fun. Went and saw the Gwendolyn show, which is my favorite show to watch at any Ren Fair I go to. If she's there, I'm at that show. It's a great time. 10 out of 10 would highly recommend, if you're going to a Ren Fair, see if she's there. She's amazing. It's a how do I describe this? Fairy tales told truncatedly in a comedy way.
Okay.
And it's very entertaining, and she has a lot of catchphrases like #science. So it's just a good time. And I saw a lot of friends, ran into a lot of people from like work and other various like places I go. I'm like, what are you doing here? Oh my God, you're here. Oh my God. So that was really nice. And that was good. That was good. I was still very tired on Wednesday from the weekend. So, I also
a good weekend then.
Oh yeah, it was really, really good weekend. Really fun. I also got my copy of Nintendo Force magazine, and I've been reading that very slowly. It very much reminds me of Nintendo Power. And it's done by a bunch of dudes, and most of them are guys with kids, so it's kind of really fascinating to see their take on gaming, because they're gaming dads but also watch their kids game. So it's like at least a bunch of them are dads. I'm only halfway through the magazine, but all I can see is there's a lot of them talking about their kids, which is just wild. And I'm just like, this is kind of a cool like side to see, because you're seeing it from that angle where they're enjoying the game, but they're also watching their kids enjoy the games, and it's just fun. So that's cool. And then of course, I kind of rebranded my Twitch channel.
Nice.
I have an absolutely boss new overlay, and there's like a countdown on my intro screen and on my break things, and it's such a good time. But I did my first stream with all of this last night, and from the very get-go it actually went terribly wrong. Because the chat function was working, but it wasn't displaying on screen. And me and the guy that made it went back and forth trying to fix it, trying to figure out, and we like, you have to log into this tool to get it to sync up, and the chat wasn't even appearing on the tool, which meant it was a server side issue from the tool. And so that means his chat was broken, our friend Joey's chat was broken. And then anybody else who uses this tool to make their chat more custom looking and customized for their overlay also wasn't working. And so it was down for an indeterminate amount of time. And so I came up with an alternative, and I used the existing like chat widget with Streamlabs, and I got it looking okay. The sync up was all right. It wasn't like exactly the way I wanted it to be. And then of course I had to like stop the stream and then restart the stream to get this all reset back up. And at the end of my second stream, where only my friend Connor tuned in, which was nice. It was nice to talk to him. That was fun. At the end of it, I go to, check in with Howdy. And I go, well, what have you figured out? And he goes, well, I'm never using this tool again to make an overlay. Because this is the third time this has happened apparently this year, where it is just kind of crapped all over itself and not worked. As soon as I end the stream and I'm talking to him and I go to like just uncheck a few things and fiddle around with it, the chat tool starts working again.
Of course.
And I was so upset. I was upset even when I woke up this morning. Like, that's how like frustrated I was. But I played Ty the Tasmanian Tiger on the stream. It was enjoyable. It was fun.
Nice.
But I was on this that's the other game that I picked up this week in addition to Dragon Quest. I haven't played Dragon Quest yet. But I picked up Bush Rescue. Or was it this week? Was it this week? It might have been. Maybe. Was it last week?
I think it was last week.
I think it was.
Because I was talking to Andrew about it before I picked up my stuff, yeah.
But I picked it up last week, which, we haven't talked about on the show, so there you go.
We didn't have an episode last week.
No, we didn't. Exactly. So I picked that up, and I discovered that while cheats work in the Ty the Tasmanian Tiger HD version on the PC, PS5, Switch, it does not work in the physical edition of this.
What?
Yeah. Because I did the level Bridge Over the River Ty. And I can't find like 10 opals, which is the like coins in there. And I'm trying to find them, and I know there's got to be 2 crates just hanging out somewhere for me to get. And you could do this cheat that makes a beam of light mark items that you're missing. And I have done this cheat about 1,000 times. It's a button combination. Nothing works. I'm gonna actually test it. I'm gonna get on my PS5 copy of it that I got for doing their Kickstarter. And I will get on there, and I will it was PS4. I will get on there and see if the cheat works. And if it does, I'm gonna send him an email going, hi, I can't find these 10 opals. The cheats aren't working in the Bush Rescue bundle. Please help.
That's super weird because
It's
it should
so
be the
weird.
same version, be it physical or digital. Even if there's an
Yeah.
update, it should still be.
And so and then I thought also, well, what if it's just the Pro controller? What if they don't work? Because sometimes it's like that where you have to use like the native controller, if that makes sense. So the
Shouldn't treat that any
Joy-Cons.
different either.
No, exactly. But
Break it
sometimes
and
it's
then
like,
poke.
yeah. So I went and I turned on my, I yoinked my Joy-Cons off my Switch and did it on there. Still didn't work.
What the hell?
So
That's a weird one. We're gonna have to get an update for that later.
Yeah, I'm very confused. So I'm gonna send them an email going, "Hi, I can't find these 10 opals. And I know there's cheat for this for marking the items on the map with a beam of light,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not working. Help." And
Oh,
that's what I'm gonna say.
Hell,
Okay.
But I am enjoying my new like stream like branding. Like it's really my vibe. It's really cool. It's very like adventure pirate, like secret society vibes. And I hope that anyone else watching it also enjoys the vibes, because I even wore a cool hat that was like very like going out into the outback kind of
Lord.
vibes. I know.
Nice.
I worked hard on it, man. I worked really, really hard. And the fact that like, that happened and then I had to like be 2 hours late for starting my stream. So who knows who I missed out on watching it,
Well,
So,
whenever I get the Indiana Jones hat from you that you said
Mhm.
you were going to send me, I will. If the game hasn't come out yet, I'll pick one of my other Indiana Jones games and I will stream it while wearing that hat. just to say I've streamed something while wearing a crazy hat. Why not?
Yeah, listen. Sometimes it's just cool wearing a hat, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I've been doing, and
Nice.
I'll let other people talk now because that's it. Unless you want me to talk about books, which I could go on a tirade for, so I'm not going to.
Not today. Other people are like, oh, not okay. The books.
Yeah, the books. I have a library at my house. Look behind me, guys.
That's true. All right, Chase. What about you? What have you been doing? You're muted, Chase.
he hasn't been doing anything apparently.
Yeah, you're muted. Good job.
I can't hear you at all.
I still got a lingering cough, so that's why I keep it muted sometimes. But sorry. So I
that's
bought a
hilarious.
couple new games. I was actually just playing it a little bit before we started. Metal Slug
Mhm.
Tactics. I really enjoy it, but shame on me for not checking my Game Pass to see before I bought it on Switch digitally.
What the hell's Game
So,
Pass?
But look, wait.
To be fair, Metal Slug Tactics I feel like only like makes sense to play on the Switch, but like at the same time I could have avoided paying a
But
moment.
also, you can play this portably.
She's got.
I don't really play things portably though. That's the only problem. But I'll get back. I'll get to that
shame.
later on in the
shame.
I'll get to that later on in the show. So
I pre-ordered my physical copy, so I gotta wait for that.
yeah, and I don't really do some of those special outlets that do the physical copies because I have odd hours and time zones and stuff. Anyway,
Yeah.
I digress. I really enjoy Metal Slug Tactics. I think it's fun. It's a little bit of a different twist on the tactics genre, the turn-based strategy genre, because
Mhm.
like the way that they do like cover and things, it's different, which is fun. It's fine by me. I enjoy it. And then the other game that I bought, and it's mostly Shanoa's fault because I got it for her and she's playing it, and then I had to help her with some stuff, and I was like, oh man, this game's actually kind of fun. And that was Dragon Age Veilguard. So I
That's
actually
not an ESRB rating.
Can we see the New Zealand rating system on there?
It's Red 13.
Red 13, yeah, Final Fantasy.
Violent. Oh wow, it's even on the side. Yeah. Nice.
I'm sorry, Red 13.
Rachel got it.
I got it. It was good.
So I actually really enjoy this game. The combat is pretty straightforward, but it's fun. The story is actually interesting. Like I haven't played a Dragon Age since Origins, since the first one. So the fact that I'm enjoying it I'm happy that BioWare actually put out something that's really good. They've needed a win for a while, so I'm excuse me, happy for them.
I know Shanoa was saying she was really enjoying it, and she liked the more action RPG style of it, kind of for the combat and stuff.
Yeah, she really likes it because of the party management. Because as a mechanic of the game, you have 2 party members with you at all times. Generally, some missions there's exceptions, but anyway, you can press a button that basically freezes the world, and then you can assign them to do certain things. Like you can use the skill in this person, you need to target this person, or you need to heal me, like whatever. So it's actually so there's like that little like third party management aspect to it that she really likes. But really enjoying the game. Recommend it for people that have the money to get it and they're looking for a good Dragon Age game. If you wait for a sale, it's not a terrible idea either. With Black Friday coming up,
they will not be remastering the old ones. They said,
yeah, that's a shame because Origins was that was my game.
They said the reason is the remaining people at BioWare, nobody knows how to work on those old engines anymore.
Yeah.
Wow, that seems like not good. But I will say, if they do want them remastered eventually, they could just outsource it.
Give it to Panic Button.
Yeah.
So
other thing I'll say on it too, just to close it off, is the game actually looks pretty. It's a nice looking game. So yeah, I don't think you'll be disappointed with it.
all I know is I keep seeing videos on TikTok over the necromancer guy and his little skeleton child. So, and not actually a child, mind you. It's a like a skeleton of a grown man, but
Casper.
But he's the skeleton itself is voiced by Matt Mercer. So I'll leave you guys with that.
So
Nice.
Just one thing I noticed, I went to look it up. Dragon Age Origins and oh crap, where would it go? It was both the Dragon
Inquisition and the two.
So Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age 2, and Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh, okay. Well, the two, I'm looking at the 360 ones because the Inquisition was on Xbox One, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So that's backwards compatible regardless. But Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2, if you have them on Xbox 360, you can pop the disc into a Series X and they will play along with FPS boost. So
nice.
They're still fully playable.
So I'll probably have to try to hunt down a 360 copy
That
somewhere.
pisser.
Pow, right in the pisser. New Xbox slogan.
Jesus Christ.
But
that's an Xbox. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be their new slogan. Pow, right in the pisser. But
play it on Xbox or go to the pisser.
Yeah. But the
I'm going to make a clip of that.
Last but not least, still in my D&D campaign.
Nice.
And we just recently finished another heist kind of thing. Wasn't really, it was more combat focused. So we're looking at potentially moving to another campaign after this next one. But I did get the new book. So any D&D friends, they now have the new 2024 Player's Handbook out. Something to check out. A lot of improvements to the game in it.
I have no concept of D&D, but it looks pretty.
If I cast Talk to Plants, can I talk to furniture?
No.
I guess that's a DM rule on that.
Why not? Wood. Came from a tree.
I guess it has to be living plants? I don't know.
I would think so.
Kind of a weird one.
That's up to your DM. Make a roll.
So, to continue this weird chain of questions or whatever, Steven, what have you been doing?
A little bit of some different things, but one that was expected. I'm still playing ZZZ as always because they keep updating it. They keep adding characters. They did a weird update where they decided because the main character wears sneakers that they would make her footsteps really, really loud. So when I'm running around, all I hear mostly is her running on different materials. And if you switch to a different character, it's quiet. So I was like, why did you give her clogs and everybody else like walking in high heels and stuff,
Swedish.
not making any noise? Very weird.
Netherlands.
Multiverses just started season 4, so I got to purchase with in-game currency, so I didn't have to pay money. Raven came out, so they have Raven in there now, who's just based on their own thing, a fully grown Raven, no Teen Titans or anything like that. And then another person from Steven Universe is coming soon, but I don't know who that is really. It's some rocker chick. No big deal there. I've been watching
What color
different
is she?
streams, mostly from Maximilian, because he's trying this new thing with his channel where he's streaming both on Twitch and YouTube at the same time with 2 sets of chats. Definitely an undertaking.
I can imagine.
I've watched some really enjoyable things that helped me through work, which are like they had him and his friends debate the top 10 fighting games of all time, the top 10 Dreamcast games of all time, the top 10 SNES games of all time. It was painful to watch all of them. But then to commemorate the what do you want to call it? The predetermined match from yesterday, I watched a better Tyson fight being streamed. He had never played Punch-Out, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, so he played it for the very first time. And I got to see it played on his EverDrive N8, and he had one of those high-def NESs that were HDMI installed. So that was really nice to see it in the most crispest quality that it could be. Speaking of campaigns, I feel my DM Chris is going to wind down ours soon because he just received the PDF for the Shin Megami Tensei RPG. So now he's studying that like people study the fashion channels, and he's just like he wants to make sure who you can play as, what you can do. He's going to build the campaign because that's his favorite series. As somebody who's beaten Metaphor for the 3rd time, I'm like, take a break.
That's why Chris isn't here. He's probably beating Metaphor again right now.
Probably.
We never know.
That's not even a metaphor. That's probably legit what he's doing.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. All right, so we'll get into what I've been doing. And first off, I was hoping Chris would be here because I've been playing Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, finally. Still continuing with that because Jeremy Jr. wanted me to play it, and it actually runs fairly well on the Switch. I do kind of enjoy it. It's very grindy, I've noticed. Like, it takes a lot of just constant grinding, but it's good to just kind of kill time. The better RPG, though, that I have been playing is Mario and Luigi Brothership, which I still do not understand what the hell IGN thought when they gave it a 5. Yeah, it's not perfect, but the game is a lot of fun. It
Engagement bait.
Yeah, it runs fine for me. I have no problems with that. I've thought the combat was really well done. The animations are actually top notch. Like, I love how this whole world and everything runs. Yeah, it's a Mario and Luigi RPG, so it's not going to be the most complicated thing out there, but I don't want the most complicated thing. I just want to have fun, which is what I'm having. I'm a good bit into the game right now. I did turn around and finally pick up Amanda her own copy, so now she is getting to play it because the Mario and Luigi series is one that she actually has enjoyed and played a good number of over the years. She's not a huge gamer, but she loves that series. So I'm looking forward to hearing her thoughts on it. Continuing on with Lower Decks, Star Trek Lower Decks. The season, it's kind of bittersweet. It's been going really well. We're about halfway through it, but this is the last season, and it still sucks because I really want there to be more of it. But I'm liking the through affair, the story they have kind of in the background of these little dimensional portals keep opening, so you get weird other takes on Star Trek popping up, and I think that's going to end up being what the finale is. But yeah, we've gotten some really funny takes on other people, which is great. So yeah, that's been the majority of what I have. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the group chat. I got to come up with a better actual sound. I didn't think about it until we started recording and went, oh, I probably need something else. And I didn't feel like having Rachel as a sound effects to start a option because we still have a lot of it.
I'm the most sound effecty person.
I'm going to clip that laugh, and that will be what starts the section from now on. I thought about
caveman fire, big stick.
Anyways,
where's my phone? That's a good
so
question.
Group chat, like I said before, is kind of our way of discussing a topic of what we've been doing without, getting a little bit from somebody, going through a bunch of other stuff. Somebody else wants to come in and say something. We're just going to kind of combine them. And Well, the same three of us have been playing both of these games, so we're going to talk about this. Rachel's going to look for her phone, I guess, while we talk.
Oh no, it's in another room. It's long gone now.
So first on our group chat, we've been playing Demio, which is the board game style like D&D light, I guess. That we've been really enjoying between myself, Chase, Steven, and Shinoa has been joining us on occasion. And we got through one of the sets of
We
missions.
beat a book.
Yeah, we beat a book, and we're working on another one.
We beat book 1, I think. Yeah,
I think we did finally go back and finish that. Yeah. But yeah, I'm still really enjoying that one. But what did you guys have about this one y'all wanted to talk about? I guess we'll start with you.
I'm learning how badly I need to figure out how Discord works on Steam Deck, because it works and then it doesn't work because it freezes the other game or makes it so I can't control the other game.
Ooh.
So I don't know why other people said it was so easy, but then I can't get it to work. So I've still been Discording through either my phone or another system while playing it on the TV with the Steam Deck. But it's a good experience. It looks really nice on the TV, so I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I need to break down and try it on my Steam Deck. I mean, I just been playing it on either my PC or getting my VR headset out. And even then, I just ended up putting an earbud in so I can hear you guys on Discord.
I haven't tried it on VR. I need to get the PSVR 2 off of Shinoa's console and give it a try one of these days.
It's a lot of fun. Like I don't know the PSVR 2 version. I'm sure it's fine. I'm playing on a Quest 2, or I can hook it up and play it via PC. Yeah. But I like being able to kind of grab and move around the table and look at things like it's an actual 3D object in front of you, and you see my weird whatever eyes I have picked out like floating around and like poking at things, and I like to.
Yeah, it's funny. I changed classes from the Bard to the Warlock, and then I wanted to look at what a certain spell did. I go to Reddit and they're like, the Warlock's the worst class ever, and I was like, well, but I like it. I thought the Bard was the worst class ever.
I enjoy it. I don't know, at least for the Warlock.
I was just like, the Warlock can still do tornadoes. I don't need the Bard to do it.
Swan is the Swan as the Bard is a trailer park's worst nightmare. There's tornadoes everywhere.
He's the most Midwestern problem there is.
But I think I'm going to stay with the Warlock because I like the kitty.
That's fair.
Cat's insane.
The kitty follows you around and goes and hits somebody and then comes back and is like, did I do a good job? And you're like, yes.
They need to have an option like a card you can use. It doesn't even affect anything. Just like pet the cat. Like just good kitty.
Spend one action to pet the cat.
Stephen would probably still do it.
Yeah.
It takes an action point to do this. I must pet the cat. It's fine. Oh, Lord. The other game that we had for our group chat today is Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Steven's got a drink because we said Call of Duty.
Yet another game I have not played. But I will say I've gotten a lot of like videos on it, and I keep sending it to people that play Black Ops going, have you discovered this? Have you discovered that? Have you discovered this? And like, you don't even play. How are you knowing this? And I go, I don't know. It just appears and I know you like it. So I sent it to you. So they keep magically appearing.
You're in the algorithm now.
I'm in the algorithm now.
It's got you. So the story mode's been a lot of fun. I haven't been going through it as fast as I thought I would, but I'm enjoying the options of what you can do for it. But multiplayer, I haven't touched it. All I've played is zombies. So much zombies because it's so much fun. Like that's just my favorite thing in this game.
We have yet to beat one stage.
We've gotten so close. Like I don't know if you can beat it. Like somehow, I don't know. We keep ended up dying. I have definitely found out like the pack-a-punch with that shotgun is a hell of a combination because I get like.
It's one of those games that even when you lose, you're just like, well, that was fun. Let's try it again. It's like going down a water slide.
Yeah,
it's all about the journey.
Because a pack-a-punch, I've got like 80 rounds or something, and I'm able to take down like some of the bigger guys that come at us, and it's that whole turning of the tide. Like I feel so powerful with all this stuff coming in. I'm like, die. So we'll have to play some more tonight. I'm looking forward to that. But do you guys have anything else for Black Ops?
I've just only played the zombies mode. Actually, I haven't touched the story yet. Plan to because I'm curious.
I will soon. I've got a backlog that's bigger than Mariah Carey's presents during Christmas.
Oh God.
So
Well, one thing I do like about Black Ops 6, the missions are broken down into nice sections, so you can go in, play one of the stories, and then you have the whole mansion that you're hiding out in that you can explore and find secrets and unlock other things and kind of continue the story or do whatever. And that's kind of a fun distraction in between levels.
the only thing I will say for first time players is
Mm-hmm.
make sure of two things. You go and register for an Activision account.
Yep.
And then go into your Activision account and change your name. Otherwise, you will be a sequence of numbers.
Yeah, that was fun. Thankfully, I'd already done that, so I had Zenspath, so I'm good. So, all right. So that was our first group chat. We'll see if we use that more a little bit later on, but we're going to jump into the news for this week, and we have a couple older and a couple newer stories to kind of get caught up on, but let's talk about what's been going on. So first off, sadly, we have to announce the horror, sci-fi, and just general legend that was Tony Todd has passed away at 69. A lot of people mostly knew him for the Candyman series, and as well as his role in like Final Destination and other things. I knew him best as Kern from Star Trek Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, as well as being old Jake Sisko in The Visitor, one of my favorite episodes from that series. Dreadwing and Transformers Prime, Ben in the 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead.
That's what I remember him from too.
Which was actually, I think, the first time I ever saw him. It was the first Living Dead that I saw before the original black and white, and so many other ones. And then also he was known most recently as Venom, the voice of Venom in Spider-Man 2. And he's voiced so many other games. Like,
I wonder if that explains why they said no DLC coming.
I don't think so, because they would have already been working on that, after whenever he passed, because they announced that way before he passed away.
Yeah, because I know there was rumors that they wanted to do a Venom centric storyline,
and it seemed like they were going to, and it would have been great, but I don't know. He did pretty good. But do you guys have any Tony Todd memories of your own, or some of your favorite roles from him, by chance?
Mainly just seeing him in Candyman trailers, and the fact that his regular speaking voice was already like, creepy to begin with. Like he was always ominous while talking.
Mm-hmm.
And then recognizing him as Venom was pretty cool as well. Other than that, I'm a fan of the Final Destination series, but I always felt he was kind of just like a side character in that. Candyman is where he came into his own.
Right. Yeah, that was definitely his big breakout role, because that was after the Night of the Living Dead stuff. But yeah,
he was in a lot of things.
Oh,
like
he
a
was.
lot.
That man was prolific. He was a huge Star Trek guy, which is, like I said, that's a lot of where I knew him from.
Like he was in like Wishmaster, not just Candyman and Final Destination. He was in The Crow. It looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going through his whole list of things, and I completely forgot that he was in Angel.
I'm not surprised by that. Like, he showed up in a lot of TV shows and stuff too.
Like, he seems like one of those actors where it's like, oh yeah, I just got jump scared by Tony Todd. Not literally. He's just in the show that I'm watching, and I didn't expect it.
That'd be a fun game of just get a list of different TV shows and movies and just start like, was Tony Todd in this? And just kind of take a guess at it.
Honestly, I mean, that's the game I play with Yuri Lowenthal, so why not add another player to this game?
He's definitely going to be missed, because that was such an icon. We've lost a couple like really iconic voices this year, I've noticed, So
it's mortality sucks. What can I say?
Yeah.
One day all of our favorite actors will be gone, and they will live forever in our memory and on the screen. So take some small comfort in that.
Yeah, ironically,
that's why you gotta buy that dinosaur book that says "Me and all my friends are dead."
Jesus, terrifying. So yeah, he will definitely be missed. Tony Todd was a legend. All right, so let's move on. Hey, I know we talk a lot of Switch 2 news, but we've actually got legit information about the Switch 2. We don't know the name. We're still just calling it Switch 2. I still want Super Nintendo Switch. I'd be fine with that. But we got some information from the recent Nintendo financial call. along with the fact that Nintendo software is still selling ridiculous amounts, even 8 years into the life of this damn system. But as they stated, the successor to Nintendo Switch, which is how they're referring to it, will be backwards compatible with Nintendo Switch software and will still use Nintendo Switch Online. So we have confirmation of that. Some people were trying to make like a big scary, like, oh, maybe that just means it's only digital. And it's like, because they said Nintendo Switch software. And I was like, that would count for cartridges.
That makes me excited, though, that they'll probably continue building upon the expansion pack of all the games, the old games.
I hope so. I like that, and I'm curious how this will look for some of the larger DLC packs. Like, will we get something similar for the next Mario Kart, or will they try and integrate something with Smash Brothers if they do another one? Things like that.
Yeah, it's weird. There was they re-released the trailer for Smash Ultimate, and everybody's wondering why.
Yeah, I'm curious on that one as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if they just repackage trailers when these games have a boost. And what I'm hoping is that they announce that rollback comes to Smash Brothers, because that'll change the landscape of how many people play it.
If they put rollback on there and like say they released a new cartridge version of it that had rollback and had all the DLC, I would straight up buy that again for $70. I would just buy the whole damn thing.
Yeah, give us a complete
would not
edition.
even argue.
Give us a complete edition like that mysterious Mario Kart out there that has everything on it.
I'm still trying to find that. But later on when they were being asked, they did at least say that the Nintendo, because they were asked by one of their people, investors or whatever, if it's backwards compatible, then what would be the big draw for new players, like to get the new system if it's just a more powerful Switch? And they did state that this system will be compatible with Switch software, but it will have its own new kind of Nintendo twists and ideas on it. So we're still going to get that Nintendo weird.
It's going to have like scent cartridges you can put it in, and then you can stream it to your Alarmo and play Doom on it. And
literally, I'm just having flashbacks from the DS to the 3DS where you could still play the little cartridges on it, and it just had that little.
I still think it's going to have just that little tab on the side.
We're going to announce the Hit Clips collection is coming to Switch.
What's old is new again.
No, Lord.
People already got Doom running on Alarmo, though. That's pretty cool.
That's hysterical.
I'm not even surprised.
And it runs better than on most PCs, they said.
If you can only use the knob at the top for control, I still have to order one of those just for the hell of it. So, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not surprised by it being backwards compatible. We talked about this as being pretty much a requirement for the new system because they have such a large amount of player base that they can't just cut it and go. This isn't like going from the Wii U where it was the smaller one. So we shall see.
I'm gonna now call it the SNS, successor to Nintendo Switch.
Patent pending.
Patent pending. God. Crap, I was going to say something else and I just completely forgot it. You made that joke. I've been derailed.
We go from SNS to fuck around and find out.
There was something else with the Switch that was like a rumor that was coming around. I was trying to remember. Damn it. I'm just going to pop up later. I remember now. So, anyways. All right, let's move on to our next story before I remember something. So, Nintendo, speaking of fucking around and finding out, they're suing a streamer who decided to emulate and stream Nintendo games before their release. Basically asking for this one. He was been recorded streaming, admittedly, emulated Nintendo Switch titles, which included some games that had not been publicly released yet, like Mario and Luigi Brothership, weeks before they released. Nintendo warned him and shut down the individual down multiple times, but each time he just started up a new account on another platform and continued to do this. He went so far as to contact Nintendo himself to taunt them as they tracked him across Discord, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and other platforms. He sent a letter to Nintendo stating he has, quote, 1,000 burner channels and he can, quote, can do this all day. After his monetized YouTube channel was taken down, he started adding a Cash App link on his streams and asking people for donations to pay for this. He was also actively sharing updated copies of emulators, teaching people how to use them, how to pirate the games, and actively pushing for people to play the games, but telling them never to buy them or Nintendo's hardware. And then, as for the pirated games, Nintendo stated, quote, on at least 50 occasions in the last 2 years, defendant has streamed gameplay footage of pirated copies of at least 10 different Nintendo games without authorization, all before these titles were released to the public. All of these streams were unauthorized and compromise Nintendo's legitimate pre-release marketing. They also promote and encourage downloading of pirated copies of unpublished games. Defendant's streams often consisted merely of him playing Nintendo's leaked games without commentary for extended periods of time. Steven, go ahead.
The funny thing was, you're not gonna be able to find him, guys, but he is in Colorado because a Colorado news channel said a local man, or let's call him a boy. Let's be serious.
Yeah, man-child.
And what he was doing, because Nintendo is suing him for over $1 million because it's $150,000 per violation, and they're like, we'll give you a nice round number up there. And this is one of those fuck around and find out. It's just, it's one thing to do it and just be like, sorry, or try to avoid capture, but then it's another thing to taunt them, send them, come and get me. I could do this all day, Captain Pirate America here. And I'm just like, I was like, you have the money to keep starting a new account on another platform? It's just like, and just start all over again, and then have the balls to ask for donations. And what's funny is this comes along the same news as when Nintendo shut down the emulator Ryujinx. They didn't just shut it down; they bought the domain and the website. So if you go to Ryujinx, it's basically owned by Nintendo now for the data information. So they're like, nope, we own that too. So we'll know if somebody's trying to bring back the emulator.
I can't believe the audacity of that. Just be like, to send them a letter. Like, people don't even send them letters anymore. Yeah.
And we're like, we gave you 50 chances.
Some people just, I just don't understand why some people think they're untouchable.
So in a
the retired actor once said, some people just like to see the world burn.
They do.
So in a Venn diagram, is this the exact opposite of a cease and desist? Like, they're sending it in saying, nope, I'm going to continue and I'm going to keep doing this. Oh, it's such a mess.
This is more like sue and destroy.
No shit. Chase, any thoughts on this one? Because I've seen you smile a few times like, what the fuck?
I mean, yeah, the guy definitely was in the wrong. There's no doubt in that. But at the same time, I'm almost kind of like, you know what? Big ups to him. Like, dude tried.
He didn't just poke the bear. He impaled it.
Yeah. He literally, he brought a pocket knife and, stabbed that bear. And the bear's just like, you're dead now. But, hey, I'll give it to him. Like, he tried.
Oh, they'll give it to him. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's going to get it. But, yeah, you know what? Big ups to you, bro. Like, I hope that $1 million check that you got to write's worth it.
Oh man, I don't think any cash out. Not enough people are probably going to give him money to cover this one, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump from Nintendo legal stuff to more anniversaries. So Valve celebrates the 20th anniversary of Half-Life 2. Celebrating one of the greatest games they've ever made and making me feel even older. So the game has received a new update that now merges episodes 1 and 2 into the game, so you can play them continuously as one title. There's a new graphical update, a documentary, developer commentary, and such. There was also an update for the ray tracing mod, so now you can play Half-Life 2 with full ray tracing, which I'm going to have to try. They're also publishing a second edition of their Raising the Bar book about the development of Half-Life 2, which has become very hard to find. So that's awesome. I'll have to jump on this one because I missed it the first time back in 2006, I think. But this now will also include new concept art from episode 1 and episode 2, along with ideas and experiments for the third episode that never came to be. So it's the closest to see where Half-Life 3 or Half-Life Episode 3 would have gone. Steven, go ahead.
I also want to add, as of this recording, which is the 16th, you guys have 2 more days to get Half-Life 2 for free on Steam. So claim it.
Yes. If
You
don't
won't
already
own it.
have
You're not allowed to own it, but at least you have the license to play it.
That's why I have it on 360. I can just play it there.
You know, I wonder if there's a universe out there where there is a Half-Life 3.
It's not this timeline, sadly.
No, it is not.
It's probably on the eShop with stolen assets and the AI.
You know, you're probably not wrong.
I cannot think of any time Valve has ever done the third in a series. Like even when they were doing
it's been a meme since time immemorial that Valve cannot count to 3.
Well, I'm going to say that's why Valve can never do comedy, because they can't follow the rules of 3.
Correct.
I can hear everybody rolling their eyes at that. I just wanted to make a dad joke. But yeah, definitely if you can get Half-Life 2, go grab it. Even if it's not on sale, it's like a couple of dollars. Like just pick it up. I've always liked how they build in the like developer commentary, because you can turn that on, and as you're playing the game, you'll see icons in the world. You can just go up to them and click it, and you can hear the commentary while you're playing, which is kind of a cool way to do it. They did it for Left 4 Dead also, and a couple of their games in that. So how many of you guys have actually played Half-Life 2? Jace? Yeah, but I say they can't hear you raising your hand, man.
They're going to have to.
Chase. Yeah. Audio commentary. Chase raised his hand. So did Steven.
The console ports are hit and miss. The one for PS2 is a disaster. The one for Xbox, the second one, is pretty good. And the one for Dreamcast never came out, but it was released online.
Well, that was Half-Life 1. I'm talking about Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
Half-Life 2
Half-Life 2 still came out on Xbox and was pretty good.
That's the first one I ever played, yeah.
But don't try to play the first one on PS2.
I have that one. It is interesting. The Dreamcast one, you can actually download it. Released enough for people got copies of it. But yeah, that one made it so far that we had was like a strategy guide, but the game never made it out for some reason.
If you can find the orange box, play it on your Xbox One.
Yeah, that's definitely probably the best way to play that now. It's a good game. Rachel, did you ever play any of the Half-Lives?
I watched friends play it, and then wasn't there like it wasn't really a third episode, but I remember watching Jacksepticeye playing some other VR game that had something to do with Half-Life.
Half-Life Alyx.
Yes.
Yes.
And I really,
actually.
I really, 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 really enjoyed watching him play that, because it's delightful.
A great game.
Seeing his reactions to things, because I know he's a big Half-Life fan. So I was like, cool, I'm going to watch this. So that's my experience with Half-Life, is watching other people play it.
Hey, that's still enjoying it. So hey, it works. All right, let's move on to another interesting anniversary. So Halo 2 E3 2003 demo has finally been added to the PC version, or I should say Steam version, of Halo Master Chief Collection as a free mod through Steam Workshop. Brian Jarrett, who's the Halo community director, stated, quote, "The response to the demo at E3 was electric, and nearly every Halo fan remembers that demo and where they were when they were first blinded by its majesty. Best of all, none of us ever would have expected that 20 plus years later, a group of passionate community modders would bring this demo to life as a full-fledged mission." Like I said, there's no current plans to bring this to Xbox Series or Microsoft Store PC editions of the game. This is just on Steam, but I'm looking forward to trying it, because I remember that demo. I think I still have the DVD set where they were playing it and going through it. So I'm excited to try that. Steven, go ahead.
And speaking of being on the Microsoft train of things, also an anniversary was Warcraft 30th. They had a direct this week where they pretty much shadow dropped, if you like to call it that, Warcraft 1, 2, and 3 remastered for PC for $40. The battle chest.
Yeah, which is not bad. And it's some nice, like, significant upgrades. The 2D 1 and 2 Got some nice little art assets, changes and stuff like that. And then the third one being in 3D, you can either update the models or the textures on it or both, and like a lot of graphical options and things for that. Do you guys remember the Halo 2 E3 demo? Like, did anybody remember actually watching that one back in the day? No,
I would have seen it all of it. I don't remember it today necessarily. Like what exactly happened in it.
I hated Xbox for a while. It took me 5 games until I bought it.
So I remember this one specifically because it had, where they were, I think it was New Mombasa, where they were going in and kind of raiding. You had Master Chief like overtaking some of the vehicles, going down the highway, fighting with one of the tanks. They had the walkers running around. Like, it was a really big and impressive demo, which they pushed beyond what they were actually able to do because they ended up having to kind of cut it back. So, like I said, I've seen videos of it. I'm looking forward to at least trying this because I want to see how it actually played from E3. This is a more updated version because they couldn't even get it running on any of the existing stuff. Like, you'd have to have a development kit, and like it was very kind of jankily put together. So this will, I guess, be the best way to play that. So hopefully next episode, I can talk about playing some E3 Halo. All right. We got a little bit more here with Xbox with some nice announcements. Kinda. So Phil Spencer has finally admitted to an Xbox handheld, but won't guarantee we actually will get it. So, speaking with Bloomberg and being asked about the mysterious handheld rumors, Phil Spencer stated, quote, "Expectation is that we would do something." And he went on to tell them that the company is working on a prototype or on prototypes, but that a finished one isn't close right now, and that if the market changes, the project could get scrapped. So right now, Xbox games on handhelds have been either limited to purchasing them on Steam and playing on a Steam Deck, or using a number of the Windows-based handheld PC setups to play Xbox native software with different results. Not the best setup. They really could do a lot of work with their Windows things, but a dedicated Xbox handheld will benefit from set hardware targets, but could be avoided altogether if Microsoft and Xbox just made interface and design choices that supported handheld PCs, that we already may have. Go ahead, Steven.
I think at this point, Phil, we just need the Game Pass on Switch 2. That way you can put this as an Xbox on the screen. And as he said at the same little discussion, he said that more Xbox games will probably be multi-platform, but he's not going to reveal what. He just said, and I quote, "I think the ball's moving in the right direction. I think this idea of open platforms where users have more choice, creators have more choice, you see the momentum, right?"
So there are only 2 games on Xbox now that I have not yet played that I still want to play because they are exclusive. I think one's available on Steam. Lost Odyssey and Infinite Undiscovery. I know Infinite Undiscovery is on Steam, but Lost Odyssey is not, and I would like to play it. Thank you.
I get the idea of what they're trying to do, but I still think that's not going to help them in the long run.
They said they're going to keep making physical systems, but
yeah, they've said a lot.
But they said
that's why I don't really believe that much anymore.
What did they say? They said mid-season upgrades just don't apply to them anymore. They said if they're going to make a more powerful system, it'll be the next generation.
Which I get.
I can see them making something like a Steam Deck, but for Xbox.
I mean, there's already a bunch of good ones out there that run on Windows, which they could run with. They just need to make a better interface for it. Because like the biggest problem I have with my Legion Go is my Xbox games run great on it. But every time I try and start up a game, it's like you got to be connected to the internet for it to verify that you can play it.
They need to make like the X-Boy or something.
Yeah.
But they need to make it that you can take that Series X memory card and just put it in the portable a cartridge.
I would buy another handheld just for that option.
That would be so cool to put it in like a cartridge.
Because one of the things I guess I forgot to mention, I did finally get the 2 terabyte Galaxy Edition Series X this week. And I ended up using those cards to transfer my games over because it was so much faster to just dump a bunch of them onto a card and just swap them back and forth while moving them over. Yeah, it's great. Go ahead, Steven.
I also forgot to mention for people who like to collect, unless you want to try to eBay them down the line, you're going to have to stomach IHOP food. So if you sign up for
Yep.
IHOP rewards, they're going to have these 80s style glasses of Xbox games, from Indiana Jones to Sea of Thieves, Flight Simulator, and it's like a set of like 5 or 6, and they look so gorgeous.
If someone just wants to nab me the Sea of Thieves one and send it to me personally,
I'll see what I can do.
I'd
mean,
be
if-
fine with that.
So if Microsoft really wants to stick with this whole idea of we're not going to have exclusives anymore, why aren't these available at like Waffle House? Like what the hell?
Yeah.
Well, but you can get it. You can win an IHOP
It's a fair
Blue
question.
Series X. So you got that coming.
Oh
And
god,
then
that was real.
starting on the 18th, IHOP will have the Indiana Jones themed game, with Indiana Jones and the Great Circle themed menu. So
Shit, I'm going to have to start going to IHOP then. At least it's not Denny's. At least it's not Denny's. That's what I'll say. So yeah, interesting and weird Xbox news. I don't know. I'm looking forward to Indiana Jones next month. It looks really cool.
Waffle House needs to come to Tekken. That's where everybody wants it.
Yeah.
No shit. I love how the guy from Tekken like just did not understand. Was like, what are you talking about? Why do you keep asking for this?
Like everybody fights outside Waffle House.
We're kind
I
of
hope
freaked
they
out right
make
now
a-
because
I hope
our
they make a
Waffle House-
handheld. Be great.
What, Waffle House?
Oh yeah, Waffle House can make a handheld too. I don't care.
So, y'all, the real trick is you go to Waffle House and you ask for the full menu.
Yeah. Or I just already know exactly what I want.
Yeah.
I like the full menu.
That's true. Yeah. I greatly enjoy Waffle House over a lot of these places. Our local one in Callaway is actually shut down right now, and it's the weirdest damn thing ever. Like, we can't go to Waffle House. It's closed.
They never
They're rebuilding
close.
it. Well, they're remodeling it, and apparently they're taking their sweet
Oh.
time. Yeah. That hopefully it's opened up again soon. It's just weird. All right. Moving on to other weirdness. So, speaking of exclusives, while Microsoft is handing all theirs out, like just handing them to everybody, Sony kind of lost one. Hideo Kojima, I guess, has finally gotten back access to and control of all of his games because Death Stranding Director's Cut was just surprise dropped on the Xbox Series X and Series S on November 7th for only $20. You can get it for half off right now. Before the show, I did break down and go ahead and buy this, so I will give it another shot on my Series X to see if I can finally get what everybody keeps saying they love this game. I just can't get it to click, but who knows? So this went on sale exactly on the 5th anniversary of the game's original release, leading to many wondering if there was some kind of set 5-year exclusivity deal with Sony that only allowed for PlayStation and then a few months later a PC release. We've got no word yet on what the wait will be for Death Stranding 2 for Xbox players, but Kojima seems to be kind of pushing that he wants to release the games on everything. So this also means
he got the rights, complete rights, and he gave publishing duties over to 505 Games.
Yeah.
A lot of people are now speculating, with this change, could we see a Switch 2 release of Death Stranding?
Please no.
God, why you say please no? I'm kind of curious.
I don't need some Kojima gutter trash on my.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Jeez, tell us how you really feel.
I want his old stuff. I don't want his new stuff. His new stuff is just trite.
You just
crap.
want a Snatcher remaster so bad. With your
I
luck,
don't want him to touch it. He already said he won't. So it's like,
with your
okay.
luck, you would get a Snatcher remaster, and it'd be like all AI upscaled.
Or it'll be like the PlayStation version, garbage.
God. Or it'll only release on a mobile phone, like some weird, obscure Japanese mobile phone.
I'm sorry, Kojima hasn't made a good game since Metal Gear.
Okay, fair enough.
Metal Gear or jeez,
Metal Gear.
That's a going a ways back. So, are you sure it wasn't maybe like Metal Gear Solid?
Metal Gear 3
All right, I'll
was
give it
pretty
Metal
good.
Gear Solid, but 2, 3, 4, and 5 can suck it. Anyway,
Damn.
Second, 3 was all right. Like
I liked 3. I liked 2. I liked 4.
Okay.
I like 4
I-
and 5. So I mean,
I will add some interesting trivia. Okay, was that there's this series they're doing because of the Master Collection of
Mhm.
Metal Gear. And for the longest time, Metal Gear Solid 3, Eva, Big Boss, the boss,
Right.
they used a pseudonym for who voiced her, so nobody knew.
Oh yeah.
They had ideas, but they didn't know. They were just like, who is this person? And then finally, out of the shadows walks the voice actor who was Eva this whole time, and it's Jodie Benson, the Little Mermaid.
Oh yeah. Oh my
She said
gosh.
she couldn't she couldn't reveal it at the time because she had been in a lot of kids products, so they couldn't just be like, well, I was also this sultry big boss powerful woman destroying everybody. I thought that was awesome that they pretty much kept it a secret for 20 years.
I love it that I love finding out that kind of stuff. I think it's fascinating that everybody involved with the game kept that under wraps for all
Yeah, I'm
this
like,
time.
how did you keep it? That should have leaked by this point.
And then
Somebody-
finally, it's just like, because she's not doing. She's probably doing stuff, but she's not doing anything like, whoa.
Well, at this
like-
point, her career is so far along, she probably doesn't care because
No, and
it's
she
not
did-
going
no.
to affect it one way or the other.
Yes, it was credited as Suzetta Minier, which was pseudonym.
Mm. Yeah, that was an interesting one to find out there. So,
Absolutely boggled.
all right. Well, as we said before, Death Stranding's on Xbox now. So if you want to try it, great. It's cheaper right now. If you don't, or you hate it all like Steven does, don't.
Wait for it to be on Game Pass so you can download it just to delete it.
They haven't said anything about it coming to Game Pass yet, so we'll have to see. All right. This last story is just a feel-good story for all of us. So, PlayStation 5 Pro scalpers are being left with the problem of not being able to sell their stock. So, while the technical reviews
Aw.
of the PlayStation 5 Pro have been kind of back and forth or a mixed bag on whether they feel it's worth it or not, Sony has done a good job, admittedly, of keeping up with the demand that there has been, which has led to many that bought up stocks of the system to try and scalp, left high and dry, trying to get whatever money back they can. Chase, you had a lovely statement for this. I would like you to you want to say something about that?
Oh, well, my amazing violin skills were on blast for like the last 10 seconds, but my heart bleeds for these scalpers. They can all burn in hell. They finally got their
I just posted
comeuppance.
my favorite picture of a scalper. I put it in our...
Oh, the Wii U one.
Oh,
the lady has a whole
God.
console of Wii U's. If she had held on to it, she might have something now. But...
She knows what she's got. No cheap offers.
Oh Lord.
I was just like, they're
Lord.
still available the day they release.
She looks like she lives
Unless
in a
it's
trailer.
the 30th anniversary one, it's not going anywhere, guys.
Yeah, I am.
Don't get me wrong, like Final Fantasy VII Remake showed the power of the PS5 Pro, and if anybody's going to buy a Pro, buy it for that game.
Mhm.
But make sure you have an OLED, otherwise you're not going to even notice the difference. But
The
the game was night and day from PS5 to PS5 Pro for Final Fantasy. But any other games, I don't know how big of a jump it'll be.
I think the game that's going to be like also a massive jump that's going to be the reason why you get a PS5 Pro 2 is Ghost of Yotei. I think that's going to be really
Not
Good
Lego
one.
Horizon Adventures?
no. But
I'm still not sold on that thing, but we'll have to see.
well, I'm not sold on it right now either because apparently for some reason New Zealand is the only country that doesn't get disk drives. They're available everywhere except New Zealand. And when I asked Sony customer support if I could get one, they were like, "They're not available in your country, and we don't know when they will be, if they will be." It's like cool.
Can you buy one and have it shipped to you like somewhere else? Like
Yeah,
For the
I could.
low price of $80.
Can
Yeah,
you buy
I'll
a
prob-
PS5 Slim disk drive, like the whole setup, and then just sell the system as a digital only?
Yeah.
Some people are having to do that, like straight up, to scalp their own disk drive.
Well, apparently they're available like everywhere except here, New Zealand.
Yeah, they're everywhere. They're not sold out anymore.
So like, why on earth they just decided? I'm assuming it's probably because most New Zealanders buy their games digitally.
mm-hmm.
I think is probably they probably looked at it as is it really worth us even delivering stock to there? But so what I'll end up probably having to do is pay the exchange rate's not in our favor, but I'll probably have to get one from Aussie.
Well, I don't know. Just wait
Well, I'm not going to get one right now, Swan, but I'm just saying if I do decide to get one at some point.
Or just get one when you visit.
Well, yeah. I'd probably do that. Maybe.
Fly it back.
We'll
Might
see.
be cheaper.
Probably
Yeah.
find them in the clearance bin by then. So
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. I might get one eventually, depending on how it goes, but I might just wait for whatever the next system is at this point. Because
I'll get one because I buy all the iterations of these stupid systems, but
Same.
I'm not going
That's
to
why
get
I
it
want
at
one.
full. I'm not going to get it at full price. I'm going to wait until they're like, PS6 is coming. So do you want the Pro at a bundle?
I'll have to see. Because like even I would normally do that, but now that this has the online sign up where you have to be able to check in with the disk drive, I'm like, that kind of puts a date on this that it might not work. So I'm hesitant to get
Like
it.
I need to know that ZZZ and Multiverses will run better.
God, Stephen, why?
Oh,
That's all
jeez.
you play. Oh man. If those had different co-op, you'd probably be demanding we play that with you all the time. Let's play this. No, let's go play those.
I already bothered Christian to jump in on Multiverses to help me unlock stuff.
Fair enough. All right.
And that's why he doesn't ever want to talk to us again on this podcast. We've actually found out the reason why.
I have him locked up.
He's probably in there grinding for you right now. It's just like he's
Yeah.
just trying to get you more levels. He's not really busy doing anything else or playing other games.
Shimigami Tensei has just been a cover up this whole time.
Chris, scream once if you can hear us if you're being held prisoner.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump into the big question for this week then. So, with Nintendo Switch coming to a close soon with the inevitable announcement and launch of Nintendo's new system, and looking back at its life since the 2016 announcement and 2017 launch, how much of an impact do you feel it has had on the gaming landscape as a whole? Anybody want to start? Steven's smiling.
I vote Swan. I think
I got a
Swan
good
should be the one
response
to
too,
start
but
us
I'll let.
off.
I've got a good one, but Steven, go
I'm
ahead.
not a Nintendo fan at all. Like I don't have any branding of Nintendo or anything like that, so I can't speak for them directly in their favor.
Bullshit.
But since they've
Yeah.
pretty much almost introduced like every new fad into the gaming industry that I can almost think of, almost everything. Sometimes Sony gets one, sometimes Xbox gets one, but there was attempts before Switch came out, but they took too long. So Switch came out and pretty much said this was a better way of doing a portable, and then when people saw the popularity take off, then you saw basically more iterations of NVIDIA Shield. You saw Rogue Ally. You saw MSI Claw melt memory card. You saw, all these different like portable systems. Steam Deck. They were like, oh, we might as well release this now that we know that people want this type of stuff. But I don't think it's even more about that. I think it was more about being a hybrid console. Because it's one thing to be it that you can just stream to it or do stuff that you do with the Vita and the PSP. This was just actually taking the car, take it with you without having the system on at home or having to find a Wi-Fi signal.
Mm-hmm.
And what many people found out, especially in the first year of Switch, when I was reading articles about how people adored it, is they said this was one system that because it was so portable and so easy to take around, they found themselves, unlike any other system so far, just being able to go back and pick up a game again. They weren't going to put down a game and stop playing it. It just was easier to just, I'm just going to pick it up and turn it on again. So people just found themselves continually playing a game that they would have just moved on to the next one in their backlog, which I thought was like a revelation for people, and was exactly probably what Nintendo was going for, saying like, if you have our games wherever you go, you'll play just our games.
Yep.
And then once third parties got wind of that, they're like, well, we should probably release our stuff on there too. So I thought that was very interesting. And I don't know how much of a bigger impact they can make. I think now they're just looking at compatibility's sake.
Mm-hmm.
But Switch itself basically like revitalized parts of the industry where people wanted to play their games again or play them longer.
Mm-hmm.
That was a way more involved answer than I was going to
But
have.
as an outside fan, yeah.
Nice. Looking from the outside, not from the inside.
Yeah, I'm not a Nintendo fan or anything, so that's okay.
I'm going to go play my Sega Nomad now. All right. Chase, what about you?
You should probably save me for last.
Oh, shit. All right.
Just save me for last, please.
Okay. Rachel, what about you then?
I think Nintendo's always been really good, with very few exceptions, about marketing their systems appropriately. And they always
Except the last one.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
like
So
the Wii
we had we would like to play. The Switch has the iconic snap noise when it, even when it clinks onto the system, like it's iconic. When people hear it, they know what it is. And just those little things they've been good at for the longest time. Except for the Wii U, but we won't talk about that. I'm looking at my Wii U now, and there were some good games on it. Don't get me wrong, but
I really enjoyed mine.
I'm about to say the Wii U has kind of gotten the last laugh because so many of those games got brought to the Switch and have become like massive sellers, including like Mario Kart and stuff like that. And it's like, they were good games. Like you said, it was not marketed.
It was not marketed
The
correctly.
Wii U walked so the Switch could run.
So I think that alone is a big impact, is how they market their systems, and it almost changes how other companies market theirs. Like they get very it's gimmicky, but gimmicky works. Like, as someone who has studied marketing and advertising and stuff like that, it makes a really big impact. And if you do it correctly, it's going to there's ripple effects throughout the market, throughout that type of thing. The gaming community is all affected when some other manufacturer has a really, 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 really good product. You get something clever and you get something that sells well. Other people are going to not 100% mimic it, but they're going to go for those same vibes. But I think the impact of the Switch, like we've seen it. Like, we saw it definitely during 2020 when everyone was stuck at home, and quite literally everyone went out and bought a Switch and got Animal Crossing.
About to say the age of Animal Crossing.
Like, that is quite literally what happened. Everyone got Animal Crossing, or they picked up a couple of Nintendo games. They got into gaming. I noticed after that, like, gaming is a completely different landscape now. It's not just like a certain group of people that's playing. Everyone is playing. And Nintendo had a very big hand in that. I don't know if they realize that or not. They probably do by now.
But I think bankers know.
I think that is the biggest impact the Switch had, at least in my opinion. But I think that we have not exactly seen the rest of the impact of the Switch yet. We will see it in the Switch 2 or whatever they're calling its release, especially if they do that backwards compatibility. Steven, you kind of touched on this, is Nintendo has the opportunity to fill a void that other companies are not filling to the best way that they can. Microsoft is doing better than PlayStation, obviously. But PlayStation does have some stuff in their digital library, in their in their whatever it's called with PlayStation Plus. They have some stuff that's there. But could be better, and I'm a PlayStation gal, so I'm not outright defending them or going, yeah, Sony.
Everybody has their preferences.
Like, it could be better. Like, I'm just glad that I can pop a PS4 disc into my PS5 most of the time and play that. But it is what it is. So I think that, like I said, the biggest impact that they're going to have is whether or not they get that backwards compatibility with their next console, where if that console does play all your Switch games, whether they're digital or physical, that's
Yeah.
going to be an absolute game changer. And it's going to have people like, companies like Sony probably starting to seriously reconsider their position if it goes well.
Could be. So for me, Steven, you covered on part of this already, of like the big draw of the Switch once that took off was kind of a new age push for portability in a lot of gaming, where we're getting that rise. I don't think without the Switch, I don't think we would have gotten a Steam Deck. I know they've had ideas where they tried to do like consoleized, Steam machines, and they had the Steam controllers and all that stuff, where they had big picture mode and all that. But the Steam Deck came from the success of the Switch. And I know we've had some other portable PCs and stuff, but I think realistically 99.9% of the time those were all like, oh, we can run some emulators on them, or little basic bits of Windows or something on there. They were not full-fledged machines, and now we're getting a run of those. You said the ROG Ally, I have the Legion Go, and things like that are coming out that let you do that. The Legion Go being basically a ripoff of the Switch in the most blatant way, because it even has Joy-Con like parts that come off on the controllers. Like, they just wholeheartedly, I'm like, I'm surprised you guys didn't have a call from Nintendo going, hey, no, too close. So I think that's going to kind of continue. And we've seen before with Nintendo doing stuff, and people don't always give them credit for this, but they'll have a great idea, and then other companies kind of run with it, trying to make their own version. People talk crap about the N64 with the analog stick, but then that gave us the analog controller for the PlayStation, that led to that. And we had with the huge Rumble was a big one as well with the N64, which gave us the DualShock and some of those. We had motion control on the Wii, which I enjoyed, and a lot of people did like those, which did lead to the Move controller on PlayStation, and then Kinect for Xbox with different ideas.
The funny part about that is the motion control patent and technology, Sony and Xbox said no first, saying, what do we do with that? And Nintendo's like, that looks cool.
Yeah, and which was kind of funny because with the Rumble, that's part of why they were one of the few that didn't get sued for it, which is why we didn't get Rumble and PS3 at first.
And it still baffles me to this day that when people look at like a PS5 controller or a PS4 controller, and they're like, my controller's talking. And I was just like, so did the Wii Remote.
Yeah, they're like, oh, there's a microphone in this one. Yeah, the original Famicom had that in controller too. Like, they didn't bring it here, but these are ideas that have been repeated. And I'm not saying that's wrong that they're using them. It's great. I'm glad those are continuing. I kind of wish the microphone idea was in more controllers. That'd be great. But you see kind of a trend of doing stuff, and we haven't gotten as much this generation directly from Microsoft and Sony. Sony has tried some stuff like I'm still going to call it horrendously dumb idea of the PlayStation Portal, which is just a very less functional small LCD screen. Like, you can't even use it as just a controller directly. It's ridiculous.
And it keeps kicking you out of the game even when you're right next to the Wi-Fi router itself, the access point.
Oh, God. What were you saying, Chase?
I was going to say, though, you can't argue with the fact that it's their best-selling accessory, or one of their best-selling accessories for the PS5.
I thought their best-selling accessory was the Hall effect stick to prevent drifting.
I think
I have no idea about that,
but they don't even release Hall effect for those. It's another normal stick. The thing with that, though, is a lot of people bought that thinking they would get Switch-like access on that. I mean, a lot of people I've talked to that bought it were like, "Oh, I got it," and it just did not, because I think its sales petered off. Like, they were hot for a minute because people thought it was the PlayStation Switch. I mean, they even called it the new portable, and then it just floundered.
Definitely don't disagree that
I was waiting for you to go get it. What was that, Chase?
Definitely don't disagree that there's probably a little bit of misleading there, but I also like, for instance, we are planning on getting one at some point because, for instance, Shanoa has her PS5 downstairs in the lounge, and so her being able to like play her PlayStation games while, say, like our flatmate is able to still watch the TV and stuff.
Right.
It's actually kind of handy. So
I think the thing with that though, and part of why the Switch was so successful, is they're trying for a similar idea, but the Switch would just work. You just picked it up
Yeah.
and it
I'm
immediately
gonna,
switched and went over. Go
I
ahead,
know
Sam.
what you're about to
you
say,
know,
Swan.
no, I'm just gonna warn you right now. Wherever she wants to play it, though, make sure you have 4 bars of Wi-Fi. If you
Hmm.
even have 3, the game runs like N64 graphics, and it keeps kicking you out and then putting you back in the game. It is very, very off-putting, especially when I have an access point that's Wi-Fi 6
Mm-hmm.
in my
Yeah.
bedroom. Games ran like I was playing with the PS5 in the same room. I went up 4 steps to my living room. I'm in a tri-level, and the games couldn't run at all, even though I was next to the other router that had Wi-Fi access. And I was
Yeah.
just like, come on. Like, the Switch can like still run games off of like one Wi-Fi bar, and this one's just struggling. And I was just like, you're not streaming that much, really. So it was, yeah.
Yeah.
There's things you need to test out first.
The other thing, Rachel, you brought up as well with gimmicks on stuff, and a lot of people will try and go after Nintendo's like, oh, it's all gimmicky. People need to realize the definition of that word.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is a gimmick.
Everything.
The DualSense having the reactive triggers, having motion controls, having rumble, having a microphone, the Xbox having its sticks in different ways. Anything you can describe of a device or setup is a gimmick. That is the reason you're looking into it. People just kind of bastardized the word and used it like they did, Kleenex, like describing all tissue or whatever.
So
It
gimmick, the way that it sounds and the way that it's said, it's generally said, it is sometimes said, at least nowadays, among the general populace,
Yeah.
as something that's negative. When
Yeah,
it's
they're trying to
not.
give it that negative connotation, which makes
It's
no
not.
sense.
And I don't understand why people do that, because gimmicks sell. Gimmicks are eye catching. They
Well, gimmicks
ping
are
something in the brain.
what's the entire point of it? Like the PS5 Pro, its gimmick is trying to be better graphics. Like
Mhm.
that is a function of it. The Switch just had a good gimmick. The
Mhm.
ability to pick it up and wander off with it, which,
Not only did it have a
PC
good gimmick,
was special.
it had a really well marketed gimmick.
I agree that the noise of the controller clicking in has become so recognizable. I'll hear it and know someone's playing a Switch. And I
Mhm.
wonder if that sound is going to stay. You think we'll get a new sound with the
I don't
new
know.
setup?
You know what's
Now
funny though is
I'm
when it was
curious.
first shown off, because the guys who used to work for them, Kit and Krista,
Uh-huh.
they
Yeah.
were on. They spoke about it, and they said they wish they had released that launch trailer earlier,
Mhm.
because when they showed it off on stage with the ice cubes and all that, it really didn't convey like the truly useful gimmick of the actual system itself. They were showing off controller gimmicks with 1-2 switch and all that stuff. But I think what changed a lot of people's minds was, taking a break from playing basketball and just giving the guy the other controller and playing Mario Kart or playing in the
Mhm.
car or on top of the building and stuff like that. But it was just
All of
showing
which
that you
I've
could just
done.
take a break like that easily, or if somebody was looking over your shoulder, you could just be like, Clink, you want to play? Don't steal this.
And I've done that a few times, like, Mario Kart or Smash Brothers and stuff. And yeah. So I think, it's had a massive effect on it. And I'm very curious to see what the next system goes to. And I think that's also the main reason Microsoft is even admitting, hey, we're working on a handheld, because they want something kind of like the Switch as well. It won't be as direct. It would be more of as an option, but that's why they're kind of pushing into it, which I'm glad at least they're working on a dedicated machine and not trying to do a streaming thing like Sony did, which I know, like I
Mhm.
said, Chase, for some people it will work great, but for a lot of people, I've seen them go like, this was not what I was expecting or told. So we'll see. All right, we have delayed long enough. Chase, what about you?
There's more dust on his Switch than there is.
Oh God,
No,
he has launch system dust.
He blew it off for Metal Slug Tactics.
Yeah, I do play it, but oh man,
No wrong answer, just a safe place. It's okay.
so like I was going to talk about how I do appreciate that Nintendo does try a lot of new things because, like, you know, the Wii with the motion controls, and then of course we got the copycat PlayStation ice cream sundae, or ice cream cone.
That's a nice
Controllers.
thing. We always called them the PlayStation adult toys.
Yeah. And like I really enjoyed my Wii U. Actually, I enjoyed a lot of the games on the Wii U. So like I
Me
do
too.
enjoy Nintendo consoles, but I just, to me, the thing that the like I enjoy the Switch, I enjoy the games that are on the Switch, but to me, the whole purpose of the Switch is non-existent. Like the portability aspect of it is just I don't utilize it for that. So it's lost on me then at that point. Like the thing that, and also to be fair though, I mean, I'm just like how am I going to put this in a pocket? Am I just going to walk around with this in my hand like those fucking like people that have like tablets in their hand while they're walking around the street, something like that?
Hey,
Like what's
guys'
this?
pants have deep pockets.
I'm
I
about
can
to
fit
say-
a 2-liter in mine.
Mine
Shit.
technically does fit. I still keep it in a case, but I mean, that's like saying like why should we have iPads? They're not as portable, but people bring them in cases. Like it's just kind of
Well,
a thing.
There are cases that you can get from this for the Switch. That's well, hold on. I have an example.
And hey,
Well, look at
Switch
the
is
Galaxy
very-
Fold. That thing's
they're
huge.
they're like
Nintendo
this.
I've got
is very
one. It fits in my
popular with
pocket.
women.
I've got the Z Fold.
So
See, so you're already in the
you know,
Switch.
it has a little it has a little handle, but there are ones that you can get
Also,
that have like a satchel. Like it can be done.
Yeah.
I gotta wear a satchel just to carry my console around with me. Like I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's
Indiana Jones has one.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hey, there you go.
You want to be cool or not? You need a satchel.
But it's just I don't know. It was lost on me. Like I don't do a lot of like I could see, for instance, like flying probably is like really great for people who fly a lot. And I'm not denying that. Jeremy, is a perfect example
I
of that
travel
with his
a
job.
lot.
Yeah, that's probably where it's lost on me a little bit. Is
Like
that
I'll be waiting in a doctor's office playing my Switch, or I'll be waiting in line somewhere playing my Switch.
yeah, there's
If I-
no
Going to wait to pick somebody up is no longer an issue. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be a few minutes. That's fine. I'm playing Mario. I'm just sitting out in the car playing Mario.
Yeah, I just don't take it with me like that, and it is what it is.
I think if you found a better way to
no, I-
carry it, I think you might find.
So
you would
I
have more
think-
chances.
I think where you would see the biggest benefit, Chase, because you saw it firsthand with us, was the fact that because you also owned one, that whenever we would have any kind of game night at somebody's house, instead of having to bring everything with you, you brought your Switch and you just put it in the dock and
Yep.
we
Yeah.
could play all
yeah,
the games.
no, and that's great.
And-
Like,
Well,
And
we had-
I think beyond even taking it portably, that itself was a big selling point. Was like if you have a dock at somebody else's house, I have one at my parents' house and they don't have a Switch and never will. But whenever I visit, I plop it in there and we can play the games.
yeah.
And I think that's a big selling point. So even somebody who doesn't even have a system
Mhm.
can have the setup for it.
So one thing I want to talk about this before I forget. I remember after the Switch initially launched, when the main game we had was Breath of the Wild, we would have game nights over here every Saturday, and
I remember going to one of those.
I miss them. But we were all playing Zelda, messing around with it, and John, the one we were talking about earlier,
Mhm.
was there, and that man was a machine of fighting Lionels, and none of us had faced one yet. So I remember the fact that I was like, dude, we need to see what you're doing. I just picked up my Switch out of the dock. We slapped his into the TV, and immediately it was up there, and we're all watching as he's playing and fighting the Lionel and finally beat one. And just that was not possible on any hardware before that time. If it wasn't already a console hooked up or doing something, just switching it back and forth was fantastic. But sorry, go ahead.
I feel that they're still doing things that the others haven't caught on for yet or had to copy. The fact that the Nintendo Switch, if you're losing a Joy-Con, has a place to find them that makes them vibrate at the highest intensity
Mhm.
of any of them that aren't even connected but are still paired with the system.
Or
And
were
then, like
paired
you
at a
said, one of
time.
our favorite aspects is if you're playing a local game and someone's like, I can't play, you have a different version. you can just share the update through local, like over the air. And I was like, that's pretty cool that they do that.
And I think the other thing, Chase, is you do actually benefit from that option of what the Switch has, because the Switch is the first system that gives you that option. It's great if you only play portable. It's great if you only play it as a console, on your TV. It's great if you're doing the in-between. You get the choice of however you want to do that, which is part of why I thought the Switch Lite was still the dumbest thing they've done with that. Why do you take that option away? What the hell?
Fits in your pocket.
It's not that much bigger. I don't even know where the hell mine went. I put it somewhere. But you have that option, and whether you choose to play it in whatever form, like I've had people tell me I don't even bother hooking it to the TV because I only play it portably, or you apparently only play it docked, and you're both right. That's the beauty of it. There is no wrong on this.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Great. So
remember, when you have a blackout, the first thing that tells you that
your
there's
Switch
something else you
turns
can
on.
do other than sit in the dark is your Switch.
Yeah.
And we've
No,
done
I mean,
that.
I think the Switch is great. Like, I think obviously it's an amazing selling system. It's done well.
That's an
Objectively,
understatement.
it's objectively speaking, it's awesome. The gimmicks just lost on me. That's all I'm saying. Is just
A lot of the gimmicks in total have been lost because nobody really wants to use you can count how many marbles are in the controller anymore.
I still see some great uses of HD Rumble, but I think it's very subtle. And
I
once
think
again,
also
if we
the
didn't have
problem
HD
too is
Rumble, we wouldn't have had the trigger.
I just think it's
HD
done
Rumble
better on Xbox and
PlayStation.
PlayStation with haptic feedback now.
yeah.
Well, I mean, the PlayStation basically is just another version of HD Rumble. That's just straight up what they have. And then it's a little bit rougher version with what Xbox had with the force feedback triggers. But once again, it started with the Switch and kind of extended out to the other ones.
Knowing how the Rumble works in a controller, like a PS4 controller, and I know this because of the translucent controller that they did for
I have so many of those.
PS4. And I was just like, oh wow, it made me wonder, is this how it works now on all controllers? And makes me just want to take it apart. But I like the Rumble feature when it is utilized correctly, if that makes sense. Like I don't remember what game it was, but they used it as an indicator for when there was like an earthquake going on in the game, so that way you had a little bit of a warning to seek shelter, but not really, if that makes sense.
Mario and Luigi Brothership has some fun uses of HD Rumble just like during cinematics and some other things, which was kind of cool to see come back. So it hasn't completely gone away. But I agree. I wish it was used more. Now, what never got messed with was that stupid IR sensor. I don't think I don't think 3 games.
House of the Dead tried to use it to such horrible results that using this with the IR sensor that's built into this worked better.
That has an IR sensor?
It's got a sensor in it that worked better playing House of the Dead than the Joy-Cons did.
Holy shit! I'll have to try that then.
Like, I don't think it's got an IR sensor. I think it's just the motion sensor, and in this is better than what's in the Joy-Cons, which surprised me.
I'll have to try that again because I really did not like that game. So, but yeah, I mean, Chase, your view on that is legit. Like, I get it. You seem like you were nervous about saying that. And it's like, no, I get it. You're fine.
No, it's just I like to try to be objective about things, but also just my personal anecdotal experiences that I don't travel a lot, so I don't necessarily fit that person that's going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to take this portably everywhere. So
I'm kind of like, if you looked at it, I'm kind of curious if that would be something where you might, like with the Metal Slug, like take that with you and be able to kind of pop in, do a couple moves or something, and just because the fact you can just put it to sleep and wake it up so quickly and so easily is kind of nice. Where you can, like, I've been playing Mario and Luigi, and I'll turn it on, I'll make a couple fights, like just going through the round of that, and then just put it to sleep mid-fight, and I'll finish it later. And
oh yeah, and don't get me wrong, now that because for anybody that hasn't picked up on it, I guess I live in New Zealand. I'm actually from America.
You do?
Yeah.
What?
And so there probably is going to be like a lot more traveling in my future. So maybe this will all of a sudden I'll be on a plane and I'll pull it out and I'll be like, and like light will shine down on me.
Everybody on the flight playing Jack in the Box.
Oh Jesus!
I can tell you
that's
pretty much if
dangerous.
you're traveling, the Switch and the Steam Deck are probably the best two options. Just
Yeah.
hands down, the best two options to have. I if I had to pick one, I would still say my Switch. It's more comfortable, it's smaller, easier to carry. The good variety of games are all designed for it. It's become my. If I can only bring one thing with me when I travel, it's my Switch. Every time.
Need to actually look into a Steam Deck option at some point, but that's a whole nother discussion.
You'd probably get some use out of it, yeah.
Um,
If you do get one, thank your Switch for it.
yeah.
Ask Christian. He's thinking of getting rid of his.
Oh,
Really?
nice. Yeah.
Hmm.
Part of what I was going to say too, because you brought it up with the HD Rumble and some other stuff too, is there's this uncanny thing with the gaming industry that and Nintendo's had it the worst out of all of them, but now Sony's starting to know what it feels like too now, where Nintendo would give you all these cool features and nobody would ever take advantage of them because there's no third party. There's a few third party companies that do take advantage of them, but for the most part, no third party companies actually want to take advantage of these features or gimmicks, as some people call them in a negative way. And now you see the same thing with the PlayStation. It was the last time that I actually the only game I've seen that really takes advantage of the remote the controller's capabilities is Astrobot. Had to be a first party game to show you how awesome the controller can actually be.
Love
But
Astrobot.
and
Astrobot was good.
and
I think
the half-assed Call of Duty thing where they're we can stop the trigger part way to make it feel like it's an actual trigger. It's ugh, okay, whatever.
they do that with a lot of shooting games, which I kind of understand. I think with the Switch, yeah, not as many developers use HD Rumble as it's intended. They kind of give it the generic Rumble functions, but I think a lot of people will get the little nice nuanced HD Rumble in the games that do support it, and they just kind of treat it like normal Rumble. They don't think about it because it's nice, but not like some mind-blowing thing.
Yeah, there's too many Switch games out there that I've had to turn down my Rumble on my system because it just sounds like a personal massager. I'm like, you guys are using it wrong.
It's because they don't want to spend the time. They don't want to spend the extra time to actually integrate it properly.
Yeah, one of my favorite uses of it is still going to be Skyrim, because using it to pick locks, you could feel every tumbler as you were going around picking the lock, and I was able to pick master level locks at the very beginning because you could feel it and know when it clicked in there, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. Nobody else has done it. And I'm like, come on. That was great. So who knows. All right, well, I think that was a fun discussion for that, so let's end that. That way we can move on and finally say towards the end of our 150th episode, once again, thank you and congratulations to all of you for going along with this for this whole time and joining me in this endeavor of doing this show. It has become the highlight of my week and a massive help to my mental health. I will tell you that right now. So, because I've been having, we all know I've been having a bit of a rough week, and I'm feeling a lot better right now, which is good. So if you're watching this show and you'd like to listen to it, look for the Zenspath Entertainment Network Podcast wherever you find your shows, whatever podcatcher or other place you've got, Spotify, things like that. We are there. If you're listening to this and you want to see the video version, so you can see when Chase answers a question by just raising his hand, you can find us over at youtube.com/ZenspathCom.
You can also count how many times I yawn.
You can do that on the audio one too.
Or you can drink along with me with Call of Duty.
Yeah, Call of Duty. Just
or see how good my violin skills are.
Or the absolutely crazy stylings of Chase's house.
His white room.
I love how all of us have stuff everywhere. Chase is just like, I live in an insane asylum. I'm just in a little white padded room.
This is where I'm allowed to game.
You look like the beginning of a Splatoon match that hasn't started yet. Okay, that's what it looks like.
Or maybe it's the end of a Splatoon match. Whoa.
No,
it's a really bad
background. His background looks like a Zoom meeting template that you can pick.
Yeah, you're probably right, actually.
Hey. Oh, God. Yeah. So you can find us online, except no longer on Twitter.
Yikes
I
on
have,
bikes.
yeah,
Well, there's no Twitter.
or X. I'll
There you
call
go.
it X, whatever. I have officially shut down mine, at least to the point I've put it on private and just stopped posting there because of the whole mess of them with what they're doing in regards to blocking, but still allowing people to see you even if you've blocked them, which is just dangerous to me for a number of reasons. We do still have the podcast account, which is just Zenspath Podcast. That will only be for posting that a show is up. I will not be chatting with people there or doing a bunch of other stuff. It's just to post, hey, it's there. That's it. If you want to find us, we're over on Threads at Zenspath, and and over on Blue Sky is where I mainly am now at zenspath.com. So I actually have that one verified using the website so that it's tied to us directly. And we haven't really done it in a while of finding out where we can be found on the internet. Normally we have that listed below, but with the updates, I think we'll just do a quick round if you guys don't mind, so people can kind of get an update. So like I said, you can find me zenspath.com on Blue Sky, zenspath.com over on Instagram, zenspath.com over on Threads. I pretty much don't ever touch Hive that much because I forget it exists. Twitter is out. And then at Zenspath over on Discord. Stephen, what about you? Where can we find you online?
So you can find my old posts on the mass exodus known as X. You can find absolutely nobody on the Concord version of social media known as Hive. You can find me at N1 Nintendo, so it's just Nintendo with a 1, over on Blue Sky, and you'll never find me on Threads because I refuse. Okay.
Fair enough. Chase, where can we find you on the internet?
Best way to catch me is Discord at LegioX Gaming. I am technically still on X, but I don't actually really even use it. Like I made a conscious decision to stay away from social media as much as possible. Well, not as much as possible, but a fair amount. So, and
No, not a problem.
I'm doing great because I don't have to deal with dickheads.
But you're still here with us.
You still play online games, though.
Oh yeah,
You play Call of Duty.
So there you
You're
go.
the worst of it.
You got your dickheads back.
yeah.
And lastly,
the two dickheads that I play with all the time.
Yeah, that's true. They're
wait a
bastards.
minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally, I was born out of wedlock.
We play with
never-
one guy who just made Halo 3 unplayable for us, though.
Oh yeah. Fucking piece of shit.
Good
The
job,
swamp
New Zealand.
swamp thing internet.
No. Rachel, where can we find you on the internet?
Oh man, so many places. Let me tell you.
Everybody get comfy.
So eventually I will get rid of Twitter. I'm still calling it Twitter because I hate the name X and I think it's stupid. So eventually I will get rid of that. I barely even post on there anymore. I think the only reason I'm on there is because of that's where I get all of my supernatural memes and news, because all of them are still on there for the moment. But they're mainly getting off there. But
I think a lot of
mainly
them moved over to Blue Sky recently.
yes, most of them did. Blue Sky and
Misha, I
Threads.
think, is over there too.
Yes, he's on Threads and Blue Sky now. So eventually when he stops posting, I will probably turn my account to private and just not engage anymore. But I post a lot on Threads, so check me out there. I'm on Instagram as well. It's still, outrageous, out_RACHEOUS. And that's both on Threads and Instagram, and I guess technically Twitter for now. I'm also on Blue Sky. Also the same, but without the underscore between the out and the rageous. And then of course Twitter too, without the underscore. Once again. So all of those places. And now I'm done. Yeah.
Did you include your Twitch in there? Because I know you.
Yeah, Twitch, outrageous.
making sure.
So, and that's my my new branding. So I stream on Friday nights and sometimes other times during the weekend as my personal schedule dictates. Maybe I'll get back into that at the end of November and in December once the Ren fairs end.
Yeah, I need to stream again some more. I don't do it consistently. I just do it whenever I feel like it or have fun.
Yeah.
But also, if you want to talk to us directly, your best place is going to be over on the Discord, which is bit.ly/Zenspath Discord, all one word. Just come, say hi. We are talking about stuff all the time, popping up movie trailers, talking about what games we're playing, just ridiculous memes and, whatever toys we're collecting, just all kinds of stuff. So find us there. All right. I've been your host, Jeremy Powers, and this has been episode 150 of the Zenspath Entertainment Network podcast. And we're out. Peace.
150.
150 indeed.
150.